you define what it means to go short in a market? We talked about it on the program. What's that mean?
Certainly. Well, going short, of course, is always referring to selling. Now, granted, just selling something isn't necessarily going short. It is selling something you don't own, theoretically. Of course, that brings me back to a many years ago conversation with my grandfather when I first entered this business in the 1970s. He said, Dan, what you do is wrong. I says, well, why is that, Grandpa? And he said, well, you can't sell something you don't own. And of course, being the young buck I was, no, Grandpa, this is how the markets work, and it gives us liquidity in the markets. And he just said, no, it's wrong. So I'm not going to argue with Grandpa, but and some people probably still feel that way. But I mean, it does provide that liquidity. I mean, that is really, a lot of people don't know you can short equity markets. Mm-hmm. You have to do it on an uptick, unlike commodities where you can sell it at any point in any time. But I mean, if you're selling something you do not own yet, that's going short.
Right. I've heard the futures market defined as selling things you don't own and buying things you don't want, which is an interesting definition.
Yeah. You maybe don't want to buy it when you don't want it,
right.
But that would be when you want to sell it when you no longer want it. But usually the market tells you don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Or your banker.
That's called a stop.
Yes. If you don't have a stop, it's called your banker.
A term for later. Yes.
Yes. Well, Dan Hueber, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.